Oh, hey guys, it's time for another lesson. Are you ready for reading today? We are going to get going with lesson 8, and we actually have just a short reading, only 3 pages that we have to go over today. Just kidding, 4 pages that we have to go over today in Anatomy of a Volcanic Eruption. And this is the last day that we are focusing on this story. So let's get started. Our learning intention, we are learning to use reasons and evidence so we can understand the author's purpose for writing the text. So we got to use that text evidence so we can think about what is the author's purpose? Why are they writing about this? So we know we are successful when we can define the author's purpose, identify the author's purpose for the text, and use evidence from the text to support the purpose. For your foundational skills, you do have another fluency read today, and this one is called A Ride Back in Time. And so this is focusing on synonyms and antonyms. And I want you to remember that synonyms mean the same and antonyms are opposite. And I can always remember that because synonyms and same both start with S. So the words that you're going to look out for in this read are antique and old/new, closed and open, common, special and unusual, historic and modern, less and more, loudly, noisily, and silently. So they have the list of these synonyms and antonyms for you, okay? For vocabulary, you have the word contained. And you can see the picture here with the cat in the egg carton. If it fits, I sits. So, and in the text it says, Mount St Helens snow-capped volcanic dome was a sleeping giant for at least 124 years before the spring of 1980. That's when rising magma below the volcano summit could no longer be contained. So what does contained mean? Do you know? What was that? No? No? It means to have within, to fit within or have within. So the egg carton has the cat within its lid, or in this case, when we read the volcano, Mount St. Helens could no longer contain or have within it that rising magma. We do have another poem that we're going to look at today, and I want you to think about how does the author use rhythm and rhyme in this poem? Okay, so rhythm is like the flow or the beat of the poem, and then rhyme, of course, are the words rhyming. So it says, Mount St. Helens, Washington, by Diane Siebert. Gone the fire, gone the roar. Mount St. Helens sleeps once more. Silent, steamless, still for now. But someday, rumble, belch, kerplow! But wait, the sleeping lady stirs. That sudden steaming sigh is hers. She wakes and quakes her ashy plume, foreshadowing the big kaboom! I love these poems. They're so fun. So think about, did this poem rhyme? Yeah, it did rhyme. So gone the fire, gone the roar. Mount St. Helens sleeps once more. So more and roar rhyme. Silent, steamless, still for now, but someday rumble, belch, plow. So now and kerplow rhymes. But wait, the sleeping lady stirs. That sudden steaming sigh is hers. So stirs and hers. She wakes and quakes. Oh, those rhyme. Her ashy plume foreshadowing the big kaboom. So plume and boom rhyme. And then the other way I want you to think about is the rhythm. So this one has a pretty good rhythm. So gone the fire, gone the roar. Mount St. Helens sleeps once more. Silent, steamless, still for now, but someday, rumble, belch, kerplow. But wait, the sleeping lady stirs. The sudden streaming sigh is hers. She wakes and quakes her ashy plume, foreshadowing the big kaboom. Notice that like it kind of goes in up and down and up and down. That's when you know that that's the rhythm of the poem. And you can kind of hear that emphasis and non-emphasis of each of the syllables. Gone the fire, gone the roar. Mount St. Helens sleeps once more. Silent, seamless for now, but someday rumble, belch, kerplow. So I won't keep doing the poem over and over. You can read it to yourself, but I want you to think about like when you kind of get into that sing-songy verse and you get to where the syllables, some are emphasized, so you say them a little bit louder or with more power than the others. That's part of the rhythm and what makes it really flow. All right, so we are going to get back now to our actual text, Anatomy of a Volcanic Eruption, but we are still going to be focusing on the topic of Mount St. Helens, just like in the poem. So Mount St. Helens, Washington State, USA, May 18th, 1980. Plinian eruption, VEI 5. Mount St. Helens' snow-capped volcanic dome was a sleeping giant for at least 124 years before the spring of 1980. That's when rising magma below the volcano's summit could no longer be contained. Day of destruction, May 17th, 1980. More than 10,000 small earthquakes have occurred near the volcano since March 16th. The north flank of the mountain has expanded into an enormous bulge. And let's go to May 28th, 1980 at 8:32 a.m. A 5.1 magnitude earthquake causes the volcano's summit and bulge in the north flank to slide away. This is the largest landslide in recorded history. Then at 8:33 a.m., so just 1 minute later, the landslide tears a hole in the side of the volcano. This creates an enormous crater 1 mile wide and 1.7 miles long. The magma and debris that had been trapped inside the volcano explodes from the crater at the speed of 300 miles per hour. 8:48 a.m. Ash and gas have risen more than 15 miles into the atmosphere. Magma, ash, and pumice continue to erupt throughout the day. 3 to 5 p.m. The eruption reaches its peak. Cities that are hundreds of miles away from Mount St. Helens report experiencing total darkness just hours after the blast. And then it says, more powerful than an atomic bomb in the purple box. According to scientists, the blast from Mount St. Helens eruption was 400 to 500 times greater than the atomic bomb that fell on Hiroshima, Japan, in August of 1945. As a result of Mount St. Helens eruption, 57 people lost their lives. Millions of trees were destroyed, enough to build 300,000 two-bedroom homes. Nearly 200 homes, 27 bridges, and many miles of roads, highways, and railways were destroyed. Living in the shadow of a volcano. People around the world lead normal lives in the shadow of volcanoes. There are, however, some things people near volcanoes have to deal with that people who live in other areas do not. One danger that people living near volcanoes face is earthquakes. Trisha Jones has lived most of her life on Hawaii Island, where there are 3 active volcanoes. Her family lives close to 2 of them. There are a lot of little earthquakes due to the volcano we live very close to, Trisha explains. We built our house on post and pier foundation because the regular cement slab foundation may crack due to frequent tremors. The house on post and pier can allow for movement without damage to the house. Fog is also a problem for people living near active volcanoes. Fog is a type of fog made up of sulfur dioxide vapors that are given off by volcanoes. It can cause problems for young children and for people who have asthma or other respiratory problems. Acid rain is formed when fog mixes with rain. This causes damage to vehicles, homes, and other structures. What do people who live near volcanoes do in the event of an eruption? Get in your car and drive away, says Trisha Jones. The lava in Hawaii moves very slowly, so if there was an eruption, the lava flow is headed your way, you have enough time to gather people and important belongings. You can't stop the lava or block it, so it's best to just stay out of the way, she explains. All right, so if the volcano is erupting in Hawaii, people are just going to get their stuff and go. They've got enough time that they can be like, what? Gather, and drive away. Interesting. So it says, people who decide to live under the shadow of a volcano must understand that there are risks involved. They must stay alert and keep informed of the current events related to the volcano. And then our fact at the bottom of the page, it says, Earth is not the only place that volcanoes are found. The largest known volcano in our solar system is on Mars. It is 373 miles wide and 13 miles high. Cool. So again, Earth is not the only place we find volcanoes. So back to our learning intention for today, we want to think about the author's purpose. And our first success criteria is to define the author's purpose. So here we go on this slide right here. I tell you exactly what that is. An author's purpose is the reason he or she is writing. Authors do not usually state their purpose, but the reader has to figure it out by paying attention to the details. So what is the author's purpose? Success criteria number 1. Right, it's the reason why the author is writing. And there are three main purposes that we generally talk about with author's purpose. So those are persuade, inform, and entertain. So what do you think the author's purpose is in this part of the text? Are they trying to persuade you, to convince you of a certain point of view? No, of course not. Are they trying to inform you or teach you or give you information? Yeah, they are. They're giving us information about Mount St. Helens. And it's not entertain this time. It's not to hold your attention or give you enjoyment, although if you're interested in volcanoes, this could be enjoyable as well. So our author's purpose is to inform readers about the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. So next, we want to use details from the text to support this purpose. So let's look back. Let's see. So it says Mount St. Helens snow-capped volcanic dome was a sleeping giant for at least 124 years before the spring of 1980. That's when the rising magma below the volcano summit could no longer be contained. And then it says more than 10,000 small earthquakes have occurred near the volcano since March 16th. So that would be a detail that we could include. The author tells us about all the earthquakes that occurred between March and May 17th. So that is a detail that's informing us about the eruption of Mount St. Helens. And then if I look back in the text, the author also describes that huge bulge that happens on the side of the earthquake on May 28th. The 5.1 magnitude earthquake causes the volcano summit and bulge in the north flank to slide away. So we know that there is a bulge on the side of the mountain. And then we know that that also causes that landslide on May 28th as well. And the last thing that we could say is that the author gives the exact dates and times of events. So again, if we look back, everything has the date and the time, 8:32 a.m. or 8:33 a.m. It's giving us the exact time that things are happening. So the author is telling us in very specific detail about this eruption of Mount St. Helens. So again, back to our learning tensions, we're learning to use reasons and evidence so we can understand the author's purpose for writing the text. We know we're successful when we can define author's purpose. Say it out loud. What is the author's purpose? The author's purpose is the author's reason for writing the text. They're usually persuade, inform, and entertain. Nice job, guys. Check. And then we want to identify the author's purpose for the text. Why did they write it? In this case, it was to inform us about the eruption of Mount St. Helens. Nice job, guys. Check. And then use evidence from the text to support the purpose. So we could look and see how the author gave us specific details about the eruption and dates and times about the eruption to help us understand and inform us about that eruption. Nice job. Check. So the last thing we have is your reading response. What are some things you should do if you live near a volcano in Hawaii? How does the author share this information with the reader? All right, that is all for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. Do all of your work, and I will see you guys later. Bye.